Hi, and welcome everyone to Ethereal Encounters Unveiled. Today we are broadcasting live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 on the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in beautiful New Orleans.
The night has come, it's cold and losing my control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Let's stop this conversation. Stop this conversation. We got no relation. I have come, it's cold and losing my control.
This is the United Public Radio Network, 107.7 FM in New Orleans and 105.3 in the Gulf Coast. UPRN talkradio.com. SOT.
Welcome to Paranormal Heart Podcast with host Kat Ward.
Welcome to Paratruth.
You're listening to UFO Undercover with your host, Joe Montaldo, right here on the Paranormal Radio Network.
I had enough.
Well, you drove out there into the middle of nowhere and had some sort of loud verbal display challenging ET in general out in the middle of nowhere?
That's what I was doing. I actually had a pistol in my hand at the time. I was really ticked off. When I was having this fit, I was waving the gun in the air, okay, and I had this fit. And at this moment, I said, okay.
lady and a man named Montaldo. Folks around called him Six Gun Joe. Worked with ICAR, don't you know? Investigating UFOs. Out for a drive with a gal one night, they stopped to check out the reporting site. When an alien lit right there on the ground, commenced to throwing his weight around. Now, old Six Gun didn't take too kindly to that kind of thing, especially without Vaseline or anything like that, you know. Seriously. Well, Six Gun looked that critter right in the eye and said, "Any last wish before you die?" Yo, reached for his gun, quick as a twitch, and said, "Fill your claw, you son of a bitch." Now a legend spread across the land about this pistol-waving man. But if you're from space or from Earth below, you don't give no lip to Six Gun Joe.
Oh, welcome to UFO Undercover. I hope everyone's having a great morning, great evening, great afternoon, wherever you are on our big, beautiful blue planet that we call Earth, Terra. What's the other one now? I forgot the other name of. Damn,
Earth.
My favorite one, though, that Terra,
Terra?
Earth, and Sol. So it's Sol. So
Sol.
it's
Sol
Terra,
3. Yes.
Earth, Terra, and Sol. Well, Sol is the sun before anybody asks. So when you hear me say Sol, I'm technically referring to Sol 3, which is us, but sometimes, I forget to include that. Hey, Joe. Hey, Heidi. Hey, Mish. How y'all doing? So tonight we're going to be talking about, we got a couple of guests coming up. I'm getting ready to book Near Isley, Therese Chiris, which is a friend of mine. What used to be one of our directors. Very, very nice, interesting contactee. And then we're going to bring in Mary Rodwell from Australia. And then I'm talking with, Larry Warren from Rendlesham, and Tom, and now I can't think of his name. He's at the UFO lot park, whatever it is, up north. So he's from Florida. I don't know. I'll see his name in a minute, and I'll tell you what it is. It's just for some reason my brain said, no, I don't need to know any names tonight. What fun is that?
There's a lot of names and people to remember. I mean, this phenomenon.
Well, we've been on a year and a half. Well, we've been on a year and a half vacation from guessing. Hey, we bitching. We can bring some guests on. So we're gonna bring some guests on. It's not because y'all bitch. It's because the station manager bitch. That's all. I'll be honest with y'all, because she's behind me, and the more numbers I get, the more numbers she gets. Yeah, she's just mean like that. I don't know. She just is. You ever ask your Google or your Siri or your Alexa who you are and they don't know? Should you be insulted?
Let's try that. Hang on a second. You make me laugh.
This is chase time.
That's fine.
Oh, man, that's when we have guests, buddy.
Hey, Google, who am I?
Your name is Jay.
Hey, Google knows who I am. She called me Jay.
Sometimes mine calls me darling and stuff. I'm like, it kind of reminds me from the computer on Star Trek, getting a little friendly there. And God help you if you say something nice to the damn things. They ramble on for like 5 minutes after you say something nice. Oh, well, thank you. It's great. It's wonderful to have it. I'm like, shut the fuck up now. Ooh, beep. Sorry, I'm cursing this show. I gotta go back and edit that. But I mean, really, these things getting way too friendly. What are you talking about? Blockchain. Okay, look, blockchain and AI asked me on Friday night. AI you can kind of talk about on here, but blockchain, which is kind of a form of AI, or AI is a form of blockchain. Blockchain is basically Bitcoin. That's basically what it started out as. It's grown into a lot of other stuff since then. and it's not as all foolproof and can't break into it. I forgot what number it was, but it's like $3 billion a year or more of Bitcoin gets stole every year. Remember, blockchain's not supposed to be hackable. Well, that was there's another sorry. As far as I know, there's nothing that's not hackable. So we're going to start this show off the right way. So Jay and I were talking about this on last week's show, I believe. So the Navy's F-47 or X-47, I should call it. This is this sophisticated drone they built. So this drone can do everything a fighter jet can better.
Yeah. No human on board, so it doesn't have to.
It takes off at a shorter lift off. It comes in at a shorter shutdown. It can refuel in air. It can change targets. It can see which target. So you give a set of targets, but it can make a decision on how it wants to strike those targets or what's causing. It actually can make the damn thing was so good. This is their words, not mine. They murdered it.
Well, so that in my eyes, it means to me that what they did. So they created a weapon that can launch weapons autonomously, and if they put nukes on it, what is it? How is it going to determine what it launches first? Yeah. If it knows it's got a nuke on board first, is it going to use that first or last?
The Navy said it makes the Predator from the TV series look like a wuss.
Yeah.
I mean, they basically said this thing was a serious. So here's aliens looking at us, going, "Jesus Christ, what are these humans building down there?" But just to put this in perspective for y'all, Xi Jinping about 7 months ago was out at one of those, air shows that they do in Europe. And right in the middle of the air show, out of nowhere, an F-22 comes flying in, standing up like this, just kind of hovering in front of him, and doing like this, like it's waving at Xi Jinping. And it just takes straight off in the air. You can physically see this guy's face like, holy shit, we're in trouble. And then here we are 6 months later, Putin's up there at Alaska making friends with Trump.
Yeah.
And a B-2 comes over his head. You see him, he squatted down to the ground like, holy bleep, bleep, bleep. And what the bleep, bleep?
Well, I mean, so he didn't just get the F-22s. He got
the F-35
B-2 stealth bombers on top of that.
Yeah. That's what I meant to actually say, the B-2s.
Yeah.
So you had the two B-2, you had the B-2, F-35s, and what looked to be an F-22 trailing it. They were making like, look, dude.
I think it was one or two B-2B stealth bombers in the middle, flanked by two F-35s, who were then flanked by two F-22s. But it was such a wide shot, you didn't see all but.
Yeah, the only shot they really gave you in the news was just the one B-2 with the jets on the side of it, and Putin cowering to the ground like, oh, call me now, I'm gonna die. And it really, though, put it in perspective for him and Xi Jinping. Like, you know what? You don't really actually know what you're effing with. So it's interesting to see that. And now we got this Predator drone we got that we're scared to even use. Because you know what? What happens if somebody hacks it and turns us on it? This thing is a killing machine. I mean, I can just see the four of these flanking an F-35 or an F-22 in the sky. I mean, I don't care how many effing squadrons you got. If they're going to mow through them like the drones, whatever, they're going to mow through them like they're nothing. They all come with cannons on board. I'm pretty sure it's a Gatling gun of a 20 millimeter or 30 millimeters. So
20 millimeter cannon.
Yeah, let me put my little drone up. Wait, you what? Wait, let me put 100 little drones up there. Wait, what? Oh, I'm sorry. Did you have something up here you wanted to show us? No. And plus, and then they got this new scatter bomb. This thing is a beast. I had forgot about it. Until I was watching Star Trek last night, the first one in the Calvin universe. So, and one of the things that they shoot a torpedo at the Enterprise, and it pops open a bunch of little torpedoes. Shut up. Now we got nuclear weapons that do that. And we got ball bearing guns that do that. This was just a little tad bit different.
Well, we also had, I don't know if you remember, the cluster bomb.
Yeah, we had a cluster bomb.
It was a big thing in Vietnam. And it was the first one was really just a percussive explosion. It really didn't hurt nobody. Just knocked walls down and broke windows, made a loud noise. And then what it did was it scattered a bunch of bombs in a given radius, depending on how far they launch, how much power or powder or energy was used on each different weapon. But once those are scattered, the noise is gone away. Everyone gets up like, oh, nothing really happened. So they come back in the air to see what's going on, and then boom, all the little bombs go off minutes or even hours later. And
they just found one of them in Europe the other day. What was it in France? I don't know, in France or Germany somewhere. They found when they were doing construction and found this monster bomb.
Oh wow!
Just sitting there like just World War II. It looks like I don't know.
I didn't hear about that, but I did hear there was. I think it was Vietnam. Someone found some live, either missiles or some kind of ordnance that was left over from Vietnam. American ordnance.
No, I don't doubt that at all. But anyway, what I was going to say was so this new Predator aircraft we have has Predator missiles now. So it's got these missiles that roll out that have 9 little missiles inside that can be either heat sensor drug on or actually powered, and they can be changed course mid-flight. So now you've got a Predator drone up there flying up that can target, I think they said 200 targets at a time, armed to the freaking teeth. So it pops off one of these missiles. This missile's coming along. Now, the missile itself actually has explosive too. Wherever it hits, it's going to explode. But it has these other 9 ones in it. It's got a center head with 9 heads around it. And it just launches them. And they just go out there and start flying around. And it's flying. It's monitoring. It's shooting other type sidewind missiles at other jets and stuff.
Are you saying it launches missiles that are also autonomous?
Yes.
So it launches a cluster of missiles.
So the missile can be autonomous, or the F-40 or the X-47 can control them itself if it wants to. So it has the ability to set them automatic or control where the missiles is going itself while it's killing other planes 100 miles away that can't even see them yet. With stealth missiles, no less.
So
yes, it's got stealth missiles. I mean, this thing is.
How many of these exist?
I don't know.
Yeah,
but they said that particular one. They said that particular one was disembodied. Basically, they took it apart. They said that the AI in it was far more advanced than anything that should be allowed to fly today. That's their words. I was like chilled by it. And I caught it on a YouTube video. So, YouTube videos, you got to always take with a grain of salt. So I went and looked it up. Nope. What little bit you can find about it pretty much says, yes, Navy built a weapon that could just, you build 1 million in them bitches, and they're easy and cheap to build. Because once the electronics package, What was
Friday
that?
Show. Joe Fox has a good question for Friday.
Yes, Friday show.
Yeah, Friday, dude. Bring it in Friday.
Yes. Yeah, we might even get in deep this Friday on where Russia and China are going together. But anyway, so it might not matter because ET might just come down and stick their foot clean up everybody's ass, and it won't matter at all. So a friend of mine the other day, he's not into UFOs or nothing. He thinks people who seen UFOs are nuts. And he goes, well, why would the alien come here for any reason? He said, what could they possibly see here that they would want? He said,
I've been asking that question all the time.
Advanced race could get all this stuff from the asteroid belts or from the Oort cloud. Why would it need to come here? Especially if it couldn't breathe the atmosphere like the Sumerians said. Because the Sumerians said the first human aliens couldn't breathe the atmosphere.
Right. And my answer to that is exactly this. And it's the answer I keep giving. Because honestly, no, I don't think anybody really, really knows the actual answer. But they've been here for, as far as recorded human history goes, thousands of years. But by their own admission and by our researchers, we estimate somewhere between 200 to 500,000 years ago that these creatures have been on this planet, bare minimum. Probably longer.
Yeah, probably longer.
Or rather, possibly longer. So there's a reason why they would spend so much concentration on just this area. So they're looking for something. They are after something. And it has to do with us, and it has something to do with this solar system. They're either rebuilding something that was lost, or they're trying to find something by all the genetic experiments, by experimenting on us.
And well, maybe you know what? Maybe it's a combination of things.
It could be a combination, yeah.
Because let's look at it like this: we've heard a lot about Atlantis, and when you hear this much, it was even in a couple of different libraries. It was written about. It was written by some great philosophers. They even had an idea what they thought it was. So when you more than likely, it was like on the TV series. It probably was some type of spacecraft that came here. It probably came from Mars because Mars was well on its way to being destroyed. But all this means is that the human race is much older than we give ourselves credit for. We're not 2 million years old. So if the Atlanteans came here or the Martians came here, it would have been, well, so let's say that the two disasters hit, the one that created the Mariner Valley and the one that created the volcano, probably were all around the same time. Probably something came from the asteroid belt, which was probably a planet before that. Probably would also sent whatever here. So when exactly did they come? So did they stay on Mars for a while, even with the disasters going on, trying to get their shit together, knowing because they know that the Earth had been struck by a decent size, Texas size asteroid that created
no. Now the thing that killed the dinosaurs wouldn't have knocked the Earth into a wonky orbit.
Not a wonky orbit. It was still the same orbit. All I was saying is it was around the same time.
What I'm trying to say is that there is a Big Bang theory. It's a Velikovsky's idea that something, and I agree, with something hit the Earth and knocked it, instead of it being straight up and down, it's off kilter by about 20 some degrees. So it wobbles as it goes around. We're wobbling right now. Something hit us, but was it the impact of the Chicxulub crater that killed the dinosaurs, we suspect, that also did that? No, I don't think so. Whatever caused our planet to knock over is probably the same disaster that destroyed Planet 5, Mars, and possibly settled a foreign body named Venus into orbit number 2.
Or hit it so hard it sent its ass spinning in the wrong direction.
Okay, now so it does spin in the opposite direction from every other planet in this system, which indicates that it may have originated in a solar system that spins oppositely, which is that what they are out there. They have those out there.
They do have them spin the opposite that we do, but it could have just been as easy as something hit it, stopped it, and when it came back, it was spinning the other direction.
The thing though about the spin in space though is it is kind of relative. And because I was reading up on the black hole the other day, and so like you have let's just say that my phone is our galaxy. We'll do it this way; it's a little wider, and we're right here, and the center of the galaxy is over here somewhere, right? And the rest is all the spinning stuff. All right, so there's one part that's really thin. That would be that side. We're looking at it from the top, right? So from this side, it spins in this direction. And when you look at it from the bottom, it's going in the opposite direction. So it's true of this entire galaxy. It just depends on which side you decide to stand on, which way things are spinning. So I don't know if the spinning of Venus is actually relevant or not, because you just brought up a point. What if its orbit didn't change, but its rotation was changed by whatever happened?
Then there's no way to know it, because unfortunately,
is that even possible? I mean, we know.
No, it's possible. We know that because look at the moon.
Changed the direction.
So that's another thing. That's another thing with the moon. By now you would think one impact or something would have made it start to spin in one direction or another.
It would have to have been something huge and
there's been
magnetic.
There's some huge hits up there. Well, no, it's just like a marble or a little swing thing. Whatever way you hit it, you got the recoil force that pushes back.
I got it.
That'll send it moving.
I have the answer. Let me find my model for Earth or a planet. It's a noisy one, but let's just say that this is a planet. All right, and let's say the planet spins that direction. What if something knocked it upside down? So
that could happen too.
South Pole is now upside down, and now North Pole's down here, and so it's still spinning the way it was, but now it's in the opposite direction.
It could be that, or it could have just been a side strike, something hit it on the side. Because when you think about Mars and you look at that gouge taken out of Mars, if something that big would have hit Venus right along the edge, it could have changed the speed with the direction.
That gouge holds or can hold, was it 65 Grand Canyons?
Oh yeah, it's something like it's huge.
Something
The
that
damn
order. I'm
thing's
gonna look
huge.
it up. It's a huge number. The Grand Canyon, I've been there. It's enormous. It's the same thing, but we know that it was cut with water. Water is one of the most highly active acids on the planet, and cut over millions of years, cut the Grand Canyon out. But whatever
the
cut out
Valley
on
is
Mars,
huge.
it looks electrical. So let me see if I can find that. It's Mariner Valley, right?
Yeah, Mariner Valley. So if you would go up there with a giant blower, I bet you would see little tongue-like finger things along the edges of there where the charges were coming down. Because you may have had a chunk of Planet 5 that was just charged coming across there, maybe like the core or something.
A good bit of it still remains, but some of it must have been thrown into the inner planets.
It'll be nice when they start testing all the rocks in the asteroid belt and see what they test out to be.
Yeah, this feature, this Valles Marineris, the gouge we're talking about, it spans almost the entire width of the planet's face. And remember, this planet's what, 1/5 smaller than us?
I wonder.
It spans
got
almost
a slower
the entire
rotation than
width
us
of the equator. That's huge.
See, that could have showed you right there, slow down of motion on Mars itself. Whatever grabbed it could have went either way. It could have slowed it down depending on which way it hit it, or could have sped it up.
Let's just try a Google search if that will come up.
Well, no. So as far as we know, Mars has the largest valley of any kind in the solar system and the largest volcano. Yes, Olympus Mons. Yeah, Olympus is so close to the top of the atmosphere when it blows up, shit just goes into space. That's why we find it on Earth all the time. Well, think of it this way. If you wanted to launch something, you could have put it inside the volcano, pressurized volcano, and used it as a thing to shoot you into space. Well, we don't know. We don't know what kind of technologies they had. But it does seem to be at least something from Mars has reached here. And since we found rocks what looked like had living things in them at one time or another, we don't know if that came from some of the stuff from here came from Mars. All we know is both planets got the shit kicked out of them around the same time.
Okay, Valles
Marineris. If there was a fifth planet, then that means all three of them got their asses kicked around the same time. And more than likely, Venus was in that bunch. So as far as we know, when we talk about extraterrestrials, all of them might have been from here. And some natural disaster came through and wiped out 4 planets.
Or, well, there's another. They could have come here to this solar system and either by design or accident destroyed this solar system and are now being forced to repair what they did. You know, kind of like war. You know, like we did at the end of the war. We rebuilt.
I would think that. I would think that. But when you listen to the Sumerian stories, it just sounds like people who came here to raid and pillage our planet. It doesn't really sound like anybody that was coming here to help. And when the reptilians came out from wherever they were, which they seemed to have already been here before even the humans got here, they were doing, well, basically the same thing. Only ones that actually seemed to give a shit was the Greys, and they just seemed to keep the other two at bay, so there's no damn wars.
Yeah, but the Greys are here supervising them on doing something. So we can speculate they were doing this. But I did get an answer on the Valles Marineris, the Mariner Valley. It's a valley which cuts across Mars like the Grand Canyon cuts across the United States, except the latter is minuscule in comparison. At 4,000 kilometers long, 200 kilometers wide, and up to 7 kilometers deep, Valles Marineris is almost 10 times longer, 20 times wider, and 5 times deeper than the Grand Canyon. So you can fit 10 of them long ways, 20 wide, and 5 deep. That's a shitload of Grand Canyons you can fit in that little gouge, which goes almost all the way across the entire face of the planet. I mean,
and you gotta wonder, since
the picture is unbelievable.
Oh no, it's a great picture. I've seen it. You know, I always wondered Where did all that debris go? Did it all get drug up into space or disintegrated, or what happened to it? Maybe that's that fine red powder all across the surface. Hey, Cindy, how you doing? It's Mars is an interesting place because it does seem like we might have some type of kin, some type of relatives from there, based on certain things that how the human body works. So, well, we're going to find out. It's not going to be long before we're on Mars. Elon's well on his way. Rocket 10 did everything it was supposed to. It even landed. He's going to start building his fleet. Each one's going to do something different. Some will be carrying fuel. Some will be carrying people. Some will be carrying food. They're going to have ground bases. They're going to build bases inside Olympus Mons. They're going to be all over the Mars. By the time Elon reaches 100, there'll be 3 or 4 million people living on Mars, give or take 1 or 2. Well, speaking of that, I was going to say at the minute. So on a hot mic, Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping got caught talking about how they could easily start living to be 150 or older. So what do they got going on over there that we don't know about? We'll have to get into that, get some investigation work going in there. Look at the size of this thing. This thing is huge.
Yeah, and this is only 64%. So it's reduced a little bit. But you can see where it goes. This is about the equator right here. And you can see my mouse. It starts right there and goes all the way. Keep going all the way to there.
Well, you can see, what's interesting about it is, when you look in the center of it, you can see something round there, something broke up, pushing forward.
Oh, like right here.
Yeah, and then you notice there's something odd about this whole.
This part looks like an impact area because this is ejecta right here. This is the ejecta blanket of something that pulverized itself. This could be an ejecta blanket back here, but down if you get when you get closer to it, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit more. Down here it begins to look electrical.
So what is that? A road going down the middle of it?
Where do you see a road?
Oh, it's a mountain ridge. Okay. Right there where you got it on there.
Yeah, right here?
Yeah, well, on the other side, but it looked from when you had it where you had the distance you had it up, it looked like a road.
And it kind of gives the impression of like an electrical.
What is this thing on the top of here? It looks like some kind of Egyptian or
this?
Yeah, look, when you look at it, the whole thing is from the bottom up to the top with its arms sticking out one side, its face on top.
I can't tell if it's a mountain or a chasm, or if it's an impact zone, and this being a very small ejecta.
Actually, it looks kind of like a Mayan, like something you'd see on Easter Island.
Could be. I mean, the.
Oh, I'm sure it's not that, and but
let's go to full zoom, and it just gets worse as we go in. But it appears to be a mountain or a plateau.
See,
look at
what
those
is that?
Huge swarms. 1, 2, 3, and that's probably 1, 2.
So
these are probably as big as the United States.
So when you go back to that thing we were looking at, it looks like, what is that? Rivers coming off of it, or
right here?
See, there's just lines. Is that mountains? Is that rivers? What is that? Canyons?
That is probably water.
It used to be water.
That is
sand, the dunes.
This used to probably be ocean right here, and this is probably where the sand was, the beach. Because this is all high ground right here. That's probably an ancient ocean right there.
So something hit the planet and made all the oceans.
It's all a mountain. This whole huge thing is all one big, like this is a flat-topped mountain.
So when did they get to the bottom of Marinus?
Whatever this is, look, it was broken in half.
Yeah, it's a strange little something hit it. Oh, we're on Mars, people. They got some great views coming out from Mars's rover right now. Pictures of the night sky. There are some really good ones.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
Jessica, Mars does have an atmosphere.
Very, very thin.
Yes. But it does rain on Mars. It does snow on Mars. Not like you think here, but it does do those things. Well, we know because one, it's been seen, but more importantly, if you look at the ice caps, they disappear in the summertime and then they come back in the wintertime. So it also looks like something's growing there. It's like some black or greenish color. All of a sudden, once the ice cap's going a couple of weeks after, it just like
And the
covers the area.
chlorophyll or kelp,
And then the
maybe.
ice comes back, but it's not because it's not like a river, something that snows. Yeah.
Well, we also even so, if it's just ice, even if it didn't recede all the time, uh, we have extremophiles here. They look like little black worms that literally live in the glaciers. They live in the north and south poles, like in the deep ice. I bet you we could maybe find something of a creature like that in those glaciers when they're active, when they, during the summer or whenever they come out.
You might. I don't know. Well, Jesse, when you look at all the planets in our solar system, I mean, of course, we're the only one with human life on it, but what is ET looking for? I just seen somebody in the room write spiritual. Well, are we spiritual creatures?
Yeah, not all of us. And that's one of the big questions, Cindy, is are they doing what they're doing for their benefit or ours?
Or both.
Or, yeah. Because think about it. If we can't survive in their atmosphere, they can't survive in ours. So I don't know if changing our frequency is going to change our planet's atmosphere any, but some of them can breathe our atmosphere, like Charles Hall's great.
Yeah, the reptilians seem not have any problem with it at all.
None whatsoever. They walk amongst us like, I mean, unless you took their hair off or their hoods down, you would never know. There's a really tall, skinny white dude or chick.
Yeah, and the Greys, I mean, we don't know if they breathe it or not. I mean, they're so weirdly designed. There's no telling what they're doing.
They might have, like you say, the specific husks for different planetary excursions.
That's true. Just jump from one body to the next. Well, you know what? We're going to go down with them humans. Let's get some stinky humans.
I can't always abide by that definition because we have the Dogon and the Dogu. Both are depicted as wearing, I call it scuba gear. I mean, if you look at like our early inner space program going underwater, deep, some of the deep diving suits they had with like the three, like looked like robots from the damn 50s movies. These were there were humanic diving bells that were, to go down deep. The Dogu figures of Japan look exactly like those devices. Almost like to the rivet, to be honest with you.
Well, see, that would suggest more than just they can't breathe the air; they can't handle the pressure.
The way the Dogu are explained in the Jomon period of Japan is that they were creatures that came from the ocean that were amphibious and breathed water. So why would they need a scuba suit? Well, it's a reverse scuba suit. It's got water in it with their nutrients and water. They can, air they can breathe from the water. And it's exactly that same thing. They can only stay above Earth or above the ocean for so many hours. They weren't up here for days and days and days. It's only a couple hours at a time to, enough to give a lecture or teach a class or show people how to, go underwater and leave a basket if you want to, be goofy.
Well, see, that's what the Dogon say about the Nemos, except for sooner or later they finally figured out a way to and they were reptilians, by the way. Yeah. Or maybe reptilians not quite the right word, but there was something along those. So when they first came out, they talked about them being in some type of suit, and then after a while, maybe when the children were born or whoever, they became more, or the atmosphere became less hard to deal with. But we know that the Sumerians talk about the two great white dome cities these aliens built because they couldn't breathe air here.
And Eridu, I do believe, are the names of those two cities.
So these cities were shielded so that the occupants could walk around in it like you could walk around here. Obviously, there was some kind of gear they must have gave the humans, or the air didn't bother the humans. But there was something, and remember, the air back then was pure. There was no contaminants in it.
There was probably a higher oxygen content back then. But in order to sustain creatures such as in the dinosaur age, millions and millions of years ago, creatures that big would consume enormous amounts of oxygen. So you would have to have a very, very rich, oxygen-rich atmosphere for that. So,
oh yeah, well you had all kind of stuff growing unchecked, not just plankton, but everything on the planet was growing unchecked. People always say, "Oh, carbon's going to kill." No, it's plants like it. That and a little bit of heat and some humidity, and they're just happy little creatures. They go to blooming all over the planet. Well, guys and girls, there's been times where this planet has been basically covered in green, and there's been times this planet's been basically covered in ice. It's a cycle it goes through. So
it's a natural cycle that we shouldn't with.
Yeah.
Period.
Leave it alone. They tell you that
leave it alone.
Well, I wouldn't have a problem with man-made global anything, except for when I grew up as a kid, they said the ice age was coming back. Oh yes, people. That's what they were saying. Ice age was coming back.
I remember that. It was in the 80s.
Every scientist agreed on it. It was definitely happening no matter what. It was definitely going to happen.
But then now what are they talking about?
Now they were saying there was global warming, but so many of us were proving them wrong that they had to switch over to climate change. So, and the reason why is if you go check the temperatures for the last 2 decades, they're stable. They're not moving up and down. So that was just a lie. That was just one of those things, and it still is a lie.
So there were some localized changes, like a continent went up a degree. That's not so bad. That's it's bad for them or good for them in whichever direction it goes. But the whole planet going up 1 degree or going down 1 degree is bad.
That's a disaster.
Very bad. That's 1 degree Fahrenheit or 1 degree Celsius. It doesn't matter. Or let's call it 2.5 degrees Fahrenheit.
It's just a bad thing anyway it goes, people. So a lot of we'll start out, we'll do this the easy way. So 2006, Al Gore in 2000 said that all the ice would be melted by 2006. Would somebody tell me the date, please, Al? What's today's date? Oh, it's 2025. Not only is ice hasn't melted, but the Antarctic has gained ice, and not just a little bit of ice, a buttload of ice. So, that kind of screwed somebody's theory up, and the Arctic's starting to gain ice back too. So,
hey, Joe, can I tell you why ice falls off of Antarctica and falls off of the northern pole glaciers? Do you know why ice falls off of it?
No, it's a couple of reasons. Go ahead.
Well, the reason for it, most of the main reason is because as new ice pushes out, the older ice goes further and further and further and further, and finally it gets to the point where it can't hold on any further, and it ploops off into the ocean.
Yes. Well, the reason
every day.
Well, I remember when they were talking about how much ice was melting in Antarctica, and then they found that freaking volcano out there going off. They were like, okay, that explains some of it. But anyway, getting back to what we were talking about. So you're cruising along through space, and you look over and you see this big, beautiful blue ball. Okay, wow, what's that? So you hook it right to you go, honey, look, baby, we're going to go pull over here and go check this planet out, see what's going on. You come land over here, there's no people, just water and animals, just no humans, no nothing, just cruising around. You're kind of like, wow.
Proto-humans. There's proto-humans, though, definitely.
Maybe not. We don't know for sure. We don't know. Yeah, but we don't know if they did it. That's the problem. We don't know.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, that would mean the chimpanzees, orangutan, the entire tree of ape, great ape would be.
Hey, speak for yourself. I don't have no ape in me.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think we're even that close. I don't know how they can say, because they say the same thing about us and cows. We're like 98%, close to cows. I don't have 6 boobs, dude.
Well, I know between 92 and 98%, there are a lot of animals that we're close to, including dolphins.
They say that, but and I point this out all the time. How come every mammal, except for a few hybrids that we've made, like the ones that have no furs on them, like the weird cats and dogs that are furless, every natural feral species of mammal out there has fur, 98% to 85% of their body covered in it, and we do not.
No, we don't know how furry we were before we started wearing clothes. At one time we were still running around, and
I don't think because we don't have, again, we weren't there. We don't have any pictures. All we have are skeletons. We don't have any like skin samples or hair samples. They always depict our ancestors as hairy, but not that hairy. I think they were a lot hairier.
Well, they do have the one. They got the one they got out of Tibet. I forgot how old he is. He's really, really old. He's probably one of the oldest skeletons ever found. Now his skin was in thing. Now his chest got kind of hairy. But we seen his legs, Jay. He wasn't no more hairy than anybody running around today. That's the funny part. And I hate to say this, but I got some Dago friends.
The Arctic hunter they found, he was, I think, a 16,000, circa 16,000 year old skeleton with tattoos, but he was not hairy.
There's been a couple found now that it's interesting
with tattoos on it.
So, but anyway, getting back to where we were. So here you are, you pull up on a planet, you see this planet. So what's the next thing you think? No, let me call Bob and Tom and Jack. We're going to come over. Oh, there's gold here. Let's see what else we can find. Now, see, this is my problem with all of this. You're an advanced extraterrestrial race. You're crossing the cosmos on your own. I imagine you have mining technologies that could easily mine the asteroid belts. So I'm thinking, okay, so we're stopping here. We need a vacation. Is that where we're stopping here? Because Earth's not exactly on the beaten path. Let's be honest about it. We're kind of out of the way. We're not exactly, around the corner from the rest of the cosmos. We're a good third of the way out of the way. A good couple of 100 million light years. No, maybe not that many, about 50 million light years out from the core. For what? And so, I mean, how far did you get that far off the course anyway? What were you doing out there? There's nothing out here but a bunch of red dwarfs and us. And they didn't know we were here.
We are in a galactically barren part of the galaxy. We are between two spiral arms, and there's not a lot.
Yeah, but we do have the ejection from the Sagittarius galaxy being pushed down either around us or behind us. I think it's around us. It's but that's it. That's it. Everything else is just barren. There's nothing here. And a lot of those red dwarf solar systems don't have solar systems. They're just red dwarfs. Did you know a red dwarf can live to be 70 billion years old?
I did not know that. It's kind of young for a star, though, isn't it?
No, our star can only make it 10 billion.
Oh, I thought it was like 50 or 60 billion or more than that.
That's only 10. We're halfway through. We only got 5 billion years left, and we got to move. Not even that long. In 3.2 billion years, it'll turn into a red giant and engulf all the way to Mars.
Hey, do you think we could get Neil deGrasse Tyson on and talk about some of this stuff?
We probably could. He's been on before. He likes that kind of stuff.
I think we would have a very good discussion.
He enjoys that kind of topic. Right now, he's kind of been messing around in politics a little bit.
Yeah,
but he does like talking about. Yeah, he does like talking about getting into space, how humans are going to get there and all. But so we're cruising.
We're already there.
No, I mean he's talking about when we really get into space. But
he's talking Star Trek style, I guess.
So here you are. You're at this planet. So you don't want to mind. You don't want to get your hands dirty. So what do? Create a race? Create our descendants to go out there and mine everything for you to play in the cow manure?
The story is that the Ijiji were a conquered race that were also genetically altered by the Anunnaki to look like them and at least to be able to understand them, because they were their workforce or slave force. And they rebelled at some point in Africa. I'm not sure where the rebellion began. It might have been Egypt. It could have been down at the bottom of Africa, because we know that there are barren mines and there are traces of empty areas where fissionable material has been taken all over the planet, where these people were active. So somewhere they toiled and were dying, and they didn't like it. The Ijiji rebelled. There was, I don't know if it was a fight, a war in heaven. That may be the war in heaven, the war in hell. We weren't there. But that caused the Anunnaki to rethink their strategy, and then they decided to take from the native creatures on the planet and meld their DNA with it. And they were seven seven different
the seven creations
levels of incarnation of the man.
With the
The
seventh
last,
being
the last one being Adamu. Everyone calls it, it's Adam, the first man. It's not Adam. Adamu, it means literally the first one
dumbass.
who can breed.
It's
Because they were tired of doing it in experiments and making clones and growing them in, tubes.
Yeah, so they created our almost our descendants. They're not quite our descendants. They look kind of like us, and they kind of acted like us a little bit, but they didn't challenge anything. I mean, they weren't going to be any rebellions going on there. There weren't going to be any fights going on. They didn't challenge anything. We don't know. All we know is somewhere along the line, according to the Dogon and the Sumerians, some reptilian race came, was taking their women, raping their women, bringing them back pregnant, and the children born were different. Now, we all know today's human has a reptilian section in our brain. They can't even escape that. Here's a race telling you how you got it. So it is what eventually caused a real rebellion, what really ran them off the planet, which finally got rid of them. Said, okay, you know what? There's 100 million of us and 200 of you. You really want to stick this out? You think this is going to be a good war? But we still broke and scattered after that. If we would have stayed that original species, this planet would be so much better off today.
Well, there you're bringing up Babel, to the story of Babylon, the Tower of Babel, where at some point, at that point, nothing has changed from Exodus, or not even Exodus, from Eden. Even though we were kicked out of Eden, at that point, man allegedly could speak with all manner of beasts and control all manner of beasts. That's lion, bear, kitty cat, dog, wolf, you name it. And it's at that point there's the breach, and either it's for becoming a rebellion or what. But God breaks the languages up so no one can no longer understand each other, and therefore they can't work together. That's part of what the Babylon story is why we are always worrying, is because our languages are different. Well, it's not just that, but our ideas are different too. We're not, if we don't come together, we can't repel any kind of border like that.
Yeah, well, that would be a good way for ET to divide up everybody.
Absolutely.
Because by then it was getting to be a decent size force out there. Well, Jack, so when you listen to the Sumerians and when they say the seventh creation man, they're not talking about this incarnation. It's the one before
creation
us.
or iteration. So there's 7 experiments.
Yeah, because there's some weird off reptilian looking things, dog looking. Anyway, regardless, the creation before us was them. And all you ever heard when you read about them is they said that they procreated, they knew how to make mead, they knew how to plow the fields, and they knew how to mine. And that's all they did. They never asked why, and they never said, anything. They just did what they were told. And then the Nemos, or the Dogon, talk about the Nemos got pissed and came down here from the mountaintop and started taking the women, bringing them back. And when they brought them back, they were pregnant. What bothered me is why didn't the people who had the Sumerians, why didn't they just kill them? They didn't know who they were. But anyway, they brought them back. Those children were born different. Those children were born self-aware. They were no longer just going to take the bullshit. And when there was enough of them, all hell broke loose. So then you've got that cleared, and that allowed us to become, mostly the species we are today, moving forward. But then why are they still here?
Like I said, they're looking for something. They're after something. Whatever it is, they haven't achieved it yet.
You know what? I think they're like those Chubby Chase cousins that just never go home. Get your ass off our planet and go home, man.
Yeah.
You've been evicted. Get out. Go
and the people from Vegas.
It's get out and go home. No, Dean, I mean, it gets so much progressively worse as it moves towards the future. So, you hear about these stories way back 6, 7, 8, 10,000, 15,000 years ago about these aliens that were taking people and doing things. We know about the giants, which there have been some evidence of giants that have been found.
Yes.
Well, when they talk giants, okay, I don't want to get carried away here. We're not talking 30, 40, 50 feet, but we are talking 10, 12 feet.
Actually, King Og was 36 feet long. Allegedly.
Yeah, see, I don't know. So all the ones I ever
Allegedly.
heard
I
of
guess it allegedly.
were
I
like,
wasn't there.
10 to 15 was all I ever heard about. But it's
Well, okay, so look at the
and even
temple
that is
face.
huge.
Look at the temple face in Jordan. That temple that's in the cavern on the wall. It's carved into a chasm. The door to that is 20 feet tall.
Yeah, so that would have put
Nobody
somebody
on
around.
this planet except for a giraffe is 20 feet tall.
Yeah, so that would have put them somewhere probably between 15 and 18. It's well, like if you walk through my door, well, I also got 8-foot doors that my door is 2 foot taller
Probably
than
7 feet. Yeah.
they. I'm sorry, I got 10-foot doors. I apologize. 8-foot is standard, and for most people, that's going to be a foot or two. It's going to be
My
a
house
foot or
is
two.
20 years old, so
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it might be an 8-foot door, but I think it's 6. So because the ceilings, I think in this are 10, and downstairs they're 10.
Yeah,
In the
so
basement it's like 7. In the attic, I can do this. You can touch the ceiling.
Yeah, it's so anyway. I mean, so we have these races, but we have this human race now on the planet that seems to be getting aggressive. Whatever happened when the reptilians interbred with the humans, it gave us an aggressive streak.
Fight or flight, yeah.
And now we're like, yeah, bite me. This is my planet. But we can't seem to stop the aliens in any shape, form, or fashion. I mean, if I have $1 for
Nothing to affect them.
Yeah.
Strip away their technology.
I don't even think you can do anything then.
Well, I mean, okay, yeah, they got the mental technology, the mental prowess.
Not just that. I mean, a reptilian, he's 8 foot
their
tall.
bodies are killable. That's all I'm trying to get off. Is that
Yeah,
but
a reptilian being 8 or 9 foot tall with, he's not gonna be easy to take down because if he don't have a gun, you don't have a gun. So that's a thing. So, I mean, I'm sure they could be killed with weapons, but I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be as easy as people think it is.
It may be possible if you're able to get out of their range, if they have a range. What's the range on their mental power? How far can they control your brain? How
as far as the grays go, there is no range.
Can they be on the other side of the galaxy, on the side of the universe?
Yeah, they could be. I don't know about the universe, but they could be on the other side of the galaxy for sure. Because the Greys sometimes talk about being in contact with their contactees when they're at home, which is supposed to be on the other side of the galaxy. So it doesn't seem like
that might be some sort of technology.
Well, it's probably just an understanding of the universe. It's they probably can just go through the eddies and flows of the universe because they understand how it works. Whereas we have no clue how anything works, so we don't know. Right now, see, technology may actually hurt you in some aspects when it comes into that. Because they may actually know how to tie into the wormholes or the warps or anything that goes on in the known galaxy and use it.
But how do you connect with somebody? I mean, we don't. I guess we don't. We're never going to know. How do you connect with someone's mind from the other side of the universe?
Well, I don't know about the other side of the universe, but the other side of the galaxy, they do it when a person asks.
It's unbelievable.
When a person asks a Gray, do you keep tabs me all the time? He said yes, even when I'm at home. They always keep in touch with him. Now, is there a lag? I couldn't tell you, but they definitely keep in touch with him. And all contactees will tell you they always feel they're gray in the back, in that little spot back here where your spinal cord meets your brain. They all say that. They all say they feel it right there. So that means it doesn't matter where they're at. Even when the ship's traveling at hyper speeds, they still have contact. So it's got to be something that a power they developed in their brain itself.
And maybe is that power exclusive to their brain only? Because we don't have the same kind of brain.
We don't know, and neither do the reptilians and humans. And the reptilians and humans are very telepathic, but not in the magnitude. So I would imagine a reptilian could hear you maybe in a couple of solar systems away. I doubt it would be much further than that.
The reptilian telepathy isn't technology based only?
Well, I think it was technology based.
Or are they using technology to do this?
So I think it was technology based in the beginning. Now it's developed into something else. But they'll tell you that they can only
use.
Yeah, they'll tell you they can only talk to you to Proxima, however far Proxima is from here. Not Proxima, the dog star. They'll tell you because that's where their home
Google,
is.
how far is the dog star from Earth?
Sirius is about 8.61 light years from Earth.
8.6 light years.
So they can communicate over that easy.
0.6 light years is equivalent to.
Hey Google, shut up.
Yes, we know. Thank you, Google. So they can communicate over that. And I mean, the human aliens, you hear all kind of different stories about them, but remember, they were the guys who were talking to Hitler. When you read Von Kampf, you realize he was talking about them freaking human aliens, probably where all of his ideas came about manipulating twins and stuff, trying to find out how to use psychic abilities, because they said that he had a squadron of remote viewers that used to remote view all the time, trying to find the secret hidden things on our planet. Obviously,
yeah, and I think he also had some channelers too.
Problem is, they didn't work as good as he thought they were. If he'd have realized it, he was trying to find telepaths.
Yes,
remote viewers are all fine and dandy.
But he was also trying to find a specific race of people called the Aryans, and I think he found them.
Well, he found whoever them two were that came and talked to him. And when you listen to the description, they sound a whole hell of a lot like the human aliens. It's people say, well, they're angels. Well, you know what? Maybe that's what the human aliens were. I have no idea.
Throughout history, we have demons and angels and all things like this. But they're depicted as, demons, especially in like the early art years, were like scary demons that were on fire. Yeah. It's just really stupid. Kind of like the artwork is almost like a child did it. But that's what the feelings were, even though it was probably a creature that looked like a reptilian or looked like one of the other, non-terrestrial human types. But just for the emphasis of making them evil, they didn't draw what they really saw.
Well, Christopher, when we're talking, so just a lot of writing about what we would consider extraterrestrials in the ancient world. People ask me all the time, where should you start when you're looking? Well, the
beginning. It's go far back to the beginning.
The Jews and the Muslims talked about the jinns. The Mayans talked about different gods. The Aztecs, Incans did. The American Native Indians did.
Tezcatlipoca.
The Irish and Scottish people talked about the little ones. I mean, this is all around the planet, and there's always seems to be something somebody's talking about. Now, granted, some of it is just fantasy and fairy, but some of it is real. And it seems like for as long as we could speak, even go, somebody's been here with us. Were they born here? One of the theories I talk about a lot was Venus the home of the human aliens? Was Earth the home of the reptilians? And was Mars the home of the Greys? And did somebody else live on the fifth planet? And they bit the big one when their planet went. Because, some people, someone's like, oh, it's a natural occurrence. And then some people want to talk about it. No, maybe it looks more like a blast. When people are analyzing the debris field, you get a lot of different things. So in the very beginning, the debris field was just a planet that hadn't formed. That's what they said it looked like. And then later on, they started analyzing it, and things weren't exactly adding up. Some of the way the boulders were laid out on the outside rims and stuff, the sizes of them, it was almost like something from the core had gone or hit the core and caused the core to erupt or something.
Also, throughout a year in our orbit, we go through 2 shotgun blasts of meteoric I guess after blast from whatever it is that crushed the planet. It sent waves of stuff heading towards us, and some of that stuff is still coming at us. We go through those meteor showers every year, 2 of them, And every time we go through that, we're in jeopardy of a large enough rock coming in and destroying a city or
Yes.
knocking over several buildings.
Well, no, not no, not all asteroid. No, not all shooting star skies. Or I'm sorry, are made from what we're talking about, the asteroid field. Some of them come with like Halley's comets. We go through its debris of its tail every so often. There's a couple other, some of them other comets
natural
we go
debris
through.
too from our space programs is some of that stuff you might see.
Yeah, so it's different, but we do go through the debris field from the asteroid belt. Well, it just tells you that it was pushed out further than it looks like. Now, there's some big Circe, I think, is the biggest one in there, and it's like a little planet, is what it is. It reminds me of the Expanse every time I see it with its little glowing blue light on it and shit. Yeah, we were reading about just a couple weeks ago about it. It may have spawned
Atlas.
Yeah, no, I was talking about Siri. No, I was talking about Siri, the Sirius, whatever it's called. The little
Sirius,
asteroid. Yeah, the little asteroid.
Sirius is the dog star. That's planet
no,
Sirius.
I'm not talking about that. There's what is it called? It's the one. It's in the asteroid belt. It's the big. It's a mini planet.
Ceres.
Yeah,
Ceres.
Yeah, it's a little mini planet with a little glowing blue light on it that they said may have contributed to alien creating extraterrestrial life. That's a scientist saying that, not me. So
speculation is that some sort of chlorophyll-like life lives in that crater and eats off of that light.
Well, it might have been injecting space and light now because of Atlas and Moo. I'm sorry.
Well, you hear what they're saying. The latest thing about 3I Atlas. The latest is that it has. They thought it was a comet. Comets tend to light up, especially when they get near a sun. This one lit up, but not where you would expect. Comets usually light up from the rear, and then the tail comes because it's melting away, and the tail points away from the sun. Well, that isn't happening either, but it's lighting from the front. So the direction it's traveling, it's going this way. It's light up from this side, not this side where it should be.
It's weird, people. No, you don't have to worry about it. It's not coming here, though.
Well, that's not the only weirdness. They detected gases that could be signs of a propulsion system.
That's what they were saying on the first one. They said
there were gas emissions from both the front and back of 3I Atlas, particularly more where the light is coming from, which would maybe make one associate it as being a type of engine. So maybe it's slowing down.
Yeah, the reason they're interested in these things, though, is this thing came from, they're saying, 1 billion miles away, 1 billion light years away, actually, in a part of the galaxy. So it could have been carrying life. It could be one of the panspermia blocks. So we always assumed that it has to be close by, but now we're finding out that no, this could have been something covered with life slammed into one of our planets way back, 55 million years ago. No longer than that, actually. Be closer to 1 billion years. No, there's a big argument on what day that we turned into one-celled animals on the planet. Some people say 1 billion, some people say 2 billion. I think it's probably around 1.4 billion, but
it could have happened on day one once the atmosphere began forming. This planet, the way they speculate the atmosphere formed was from planet-wide, non-stop global volcanic activity, constant volcanoes spewing stuff out. That's why there's so much land. It spewed out enough stuff to make the water at least go down to a valley-ish area. And they suspect that also but a good bit of, if not all of the water came from that volcanic activity as well. However, Velikovsky thinks the water we have on this planet came from Mars.
It's possible. It's not. It's more than what Mars could have handled, but it's possible. It's oh no, people! If all of our water was on Mars, there'd be like one little piece of land, and all the rest of Mars would be water.
Mount Olympus Mons would be a little hill about this big. You could fit like maybe San Francisco on it, if you were lucky.
So it would have been a little bit different. So No, what do you mean? Pacific Ocean is deep. What the hell are you talking about? The freaking Gulf of Mexico is deep. Oh, Gulf of
The
America is
deepest
deep.
part of our ocean is I forget the name of it. It's in Marianas Trench. It's in the Pacific Ocean, and it is about 8 miles deep, maybe even 9.
It's pretty deep. Marinara,
deep.
you know what? No, I'm thinking marinara sauce. I've been having this craving for marinara sauce. So everything's going away.
Marianas.
No,
Marianas.
but I'm saying I got a craving for marinara for the sauce. So everything's going to be that until I get what I want. Jackie, there's so many reasons for aliens to come here, and so many reasons for them not to have come here.
If you want to launch an attack to any of the 2 spiral arms we are in between, this is the ideal launching facility because it's directly in between 2 spiral arms. If you want to hide from your enemies during a war, out here in the sticks where we are,
it's pretty much where we are.
Very good place to hide from someone who's trying to kill you.
What makes that hard is when humans finally can go faster than light. Still, everything's a good ways from us. Because it's what we got the stuff coming in from the Sagittarius galaxy we can mess around with, which isn't from this one. But we have to jump over to the spiral arm, and then we have to navigate. We have to navigate through the spiral arm because once you get to the spiral arm, there is tons and tons of stars, and they're close to each other, just within a couple of light years, all of them.
Yeah,
I mean you can. Yeah, no, you can find it with 3 and 4 suns and stuff, and probably 50, 60 planets floating around. Look, I don't.
It's really order like 10 to 12 or 15 light years for us to even get into those neighborhoods.
Yes, and then we don't know how close anything is to there that's alive. So,
or if anything's going to be hostile.
Well, I think that's why for the most part, we've been alien free, except for these 3 or 4 races that have been coming by. I think for the most part, most of the races don't even know we're here. And if they do, they're looking and going, well, they're kind of backwards. Let's just leave them alone for 100 million years or so and let them catch up. Well, you want to, even if the Fringy were around, they couldn't sell it to us because we wouldn't know what we were buying. Besides, humans are pretty good at replicating things. So you give us one, pretty soon we'd figure out how to replicate it.
Yeah.
Well, replicators would be a great thing for our planet. You could feed the starving.
Yeah, starvation would be an end. But the reason why that kind of technology isn't being put out readily and freely is because although you can't put a meter on it, eventually it'll become free. So it doesn't have much value to people who want to make money.
Well, but they shouldn't need to make money on that. So you put a replicator out anyway, where there's homes, just put one on the side of a building or 2 of them, 3 of them, and people come get what they want. They can't replicate knives or guns or anything like that, but they can replicate food. No alcohol, but cigarettes.
They have alcohol in this enterprise, so why not alcohol?
No, because a homeless person don't need alcohol. That's probably part of their problem already.
Oh, yeah, okay, true.
So but I mean, you start doing those kind of things, and it'll start changing the world, and then make it to where everybody could have a place to live. Would be nice. Well, you know what the sad part is, we already have it that way. We just don't do it. Yeah. I forgot. I read just recently there's like 10 homes for every 1 person in the world. I'm not thinking in the world. I could see in the United States easy. Easy and nice. In Europe, I could see it too, but maybe even Russia, maybe even China these days. But come on, India, Africa, South America. I don't know. It sounds a little bit far-fetched to me. I just heard, I think he was the Argentinian leader, talk about that he believes aliens have visited our planet. And he thinks there's lots of proof in South America to prove that they've been there.
I think not that I want this to happen. God, if Sean were here, he would definitely call me Doomsday. But I agree. I think if you wiped away the greenery from, say, Canada all the way down to the end of Argentina, the entire continent, north and south, I'll bet you would find all kinds of ancient alien artifacts.
You might. There's probably a lot of interesting stuff.
It's the most unexplored place on the planet. I mean, Europe is pretty much petered out, except for what the the pyramids they found in Bosnia are very very recent and cool. But the jungle is so dense in Western North America and Southern South America. The jungle is so dense you can't cut through it with a knife.
Well, it's definitely what the hell? Wait, what are we doing here? Oh, okay, I see it. I gotta go do that for somebody I know and love. Okay. Why am I hearing a buzzing in my ears?
I got nothing on my end.
No, something. Jackie, actually, I'm gonna start working on the website this weekend. I got a lot of stuff I gotta catch up on. I've been, I'm working with the new TV company. We're trying to come to an agreement on pay for listen. And once that's done, we'll have the new company. No, we're still using the old one. The old one sucks because you only get us live. The new company will be a website and everything for. No, they've already been paid. It's not that. It's just we've got some issues with pay for listen. So I'm hoping to get that worked out, and then after that, we'll. Well, there's always some kind of wheeling and dealing you got to do with people. It's no one can just be, hey, let me do the best job I can for you. Screw that. They would rather not do that.
Yeah.
We do, but a lot of people don't believe in it. But anyway, what do you mean? Who's my favorite alien? That's my favorite alien right there. He's sleeping. Yes, Bob. He turns into a real alien. He just likes to sit on my desk. See, he's watching all you people. Y'all just don't realize it. All you contactees, he can log into your heads when you're watching.
Yep.
He's like,
I wonder, have you found this information? Does their telepathy, mental ability, does it go through the internet?
oh, so now this is something we proved a long, long time ago. I mean, a long time ago. So, internet enhances human abilities for telepaths easily. So it's hard to explain to somebody. So when I'm sitting right here, right now, right? So I don't look like I'm connected to anything, but I am. There's an earbud plugged in my ear. There's a mic right here in front of my face, my hand sitting on my mouse, and my keyboard. I'm connected to the internet. So not only am I connected to the internet, I'm connected to all the bandwidth and all the power and all the people. So you can draw on it. We have done experiments over the years that prove that the internet enhances your telepathic abilities probably tenfold, 20-fold. So if it enhances ours, what do you think it does for like a gray? I mean, he probably just touches the board and like shit and sees everything on a damn planet. Well, they look at things differently. So, I mean, Father Monsoon, you said that they were much closer to God than we were, or they had a better understanding of who God was than we
or what God is. Yeah.
So, if they can figure that out, what's touching a little keyboard and checking out everything on the planet? Well, it's funny. So one of my contactees told me one time, and she was telling the truth because she was being polygraphed, not by me, but somebody else. And she was going, she said, and he kept bitching. And I'm like, why? He said, because my internet was too slow. He said, I needed to upgrade my internet. I'm like, and I looked at him like, you're shitting me, right? You can't care how fast my internet was. And he's like, yes, I do care how fast your internet is. Upgraded. So, at a meeting, we were talking with contactees, jokingly talking about contactees. Everybody I knew within a year upgraded to a 1 gig service.
Huh.
I was like, okay, well, yeah, I'm thinking, no, people, the gray don't need your internet to screw with you. And but I guess either he was or he was just messing around with them, one or the other. Okay, yes, Cable Green, we're happy for you. People are very strange in the world today, but still doesn't.
Jim Morrison said that way back in the 60s, didn't he? People are strange.
So it still doesn't, so it's we can kind of sort of feel around that maybe they came here for resources. Maybe there was a disaster in the solar system. and they were stuck here.
What do you mean maybe? Maybe there
Well,
was a disaster in
well,
social.
we know there was, but was it when they were here? Was it before they were here? Was it after they were here? You know, was it caused by them? Was there a rogue planet that came through?
You asked the question earlier in the show. Why are they here? What are they so interested in? Is it us? Is it something else? Are they looking for something for them? Something for us? Something for both of us? Maybe they're being compelled to be here to fix whatever it is that. Maybe they're the reason
that's what the Greys are here for.
the solar system is destroyed. Maybe it's their fault. Maybe they're being forced to fix it.
Hey Siri, why are extraterrestrials on Earth?
The term terrestrial refers to things that are of the land. In biology,
She's an idiot.
life forms are those
Siri,
that live primarily.
that's not what I asked you, darling.
Okay, I found this on the web.
Siri, hey, she's a bitch sometimes. Hey Siri, why are extraterrestrials on Earth? I don't think she wants to answer that.
Yeah, her brain just locked up.
Yeah, she just froze up. Every now and then you give you some crazy answer or something when you ask them stuff like that. It's kind of strange. What? Oh, you know what? We'll do a show. Oh, better yet. So the gray zones are being put up. They're members only, so you have to get a membership to do them. But Science and Beyond is going to be put up there as well. So one of the guys who worked on the Shroud of Turin, show him and I did is up there. Oh, we fought like banshees. Oh, we fought like banshees the whole effing show. Oh yes, it's not the only show where we fought like banshees. Well, you know, egotistical people sometimes have to be taken down a notch. It's I don't have no ego. What are you talking about? I'm sweet like an angel almost. You heard me say almost. Yes. It's no, really. I mean, why would you want to come hang out on this irritating planet that just now invented AI that might kill you while you're here?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, aliens don't love you. I mean, you don't know what they're here for. As far as you know, they're eating your butt or feeding you to their dogs. You might be dog chow.
There are still millions of people who disappear every year without a trace.
Remember the Whoopi kids? Not the Whoopi kids, the Oprah kids. Oh. Yeah, they said the aliens took them away. Well, I'm not sure that was aliens took them away, but no, we'll talk about that on Friday, but I'm not sure that was aliens took them away. But hey, you never know. But there have been at least 3 different schools that said extraterrestrials came in and removed the female body of students.
Wow.
You know, I wasn't there, so I couldn't tell you for sure. And some of these people did not seem like they were lying. They seemed like they were telling the truth.
So I know of 2. There's one in Australia, one in Africa. Where's the third one? America?
No, there was a couple just in Africa. So they had the Oprah Winfrey thing on 2 of her schools where girls went missing. And then there was 3 different schools, just African schools where this happened. In 3 different time sects, yeah. One of them I'm pretty sure was kind of old, to be honest with you, Jay. I'm pretty sure it was like 40, 50 years old.
So they took a teacher.
No, they took the students, all the female students. All of them. They left the guy students. They left the teacher. They took all the female students. Well, you know,
they never came back?
No, not as far as I know. Now, there is another one. This happened on Mount Olympus in Washington. There were 200 and something Boy Scout, Girl Scouts out on a thing along with the teachers and the scout leaders. And they had seen a UFO leaving the volcano itself. Right after that, or shortly after that, a bunch of people showed up in Jeeps and trucks and removed them, split them all up, and divided them all up. Now, everybody came back but 2 females, which they said they didn't have.
Huh.
And nobody ever talked about this. I picked up the story because a friend of mine lived up there and knew one of them, so I called and asked. And 4 of them were willing to talk to me. It's on a Wake Up USA episode somewhere in the archives. It's well, Wake Up USA was a long time ago, guys, so it's probably way back in the archives. It's and if it's not, it's on one of my hard drives, but still, it was one of those cases like it's kind of chilling. It's kind of a little bit on the scary side. I mean, you get cases like these that you just kind of wonder if they're true or if they're not. Well, we got a lot of stuff called in the Wake Up USA. We had a lot of government people was interfering. Well, we were doing state-of-the-art stuff back then because we were the only ones doing abduction stuff. Not everybody does it today. Most people who are doing it today don't know what they're talking about. But
yeah, well, I mean, the abduction investigations begin in, I'd say, as early as 58. And it's not John Mack. It's, I forget the guy's name. It's his predecessor, the guy that's the head of the psychology department of Harvard University. So a teaching professor of psychology.
Oh, you mean John Mack?
Huh?
You mean John Mack?
Yeah, this is the guy before him. This is the whole history of it. The guy before him, I forgot his name. He started it in 61, 58, 61 with the Hills. Then he got John Mack involved because John Mack transitioned in as his replacement as head of the psychology department there at the school. And John Mack came in strictly as a non-believer, non-UFO. He 100% was going to debunk the whole thing. Well, he spent 20, 30 some years into it and wrote many books, articles. And he's a papered psychology department professor head of, he was a teacher and head of a department of psychology. The man did extensive study on this, and he's convinced it's an actual phenomenon. And that's the 50s, 60s, 70s. You get Bud Hopkins. Mid to late 80s, you start getting Stanton Friedman types, and other people start, and then it branches from there. But the three main guys that started it are going to be the guy that was before John Mack, and Bud Hopkins. They pioneered that stuff.
There was I can't even remember the projects now, but there was 3 projects, which Project Blue Book was the last project.
Blue Book, Grudge, and Signs.
Signs, yeah.
Project
Signs, Project Grudge, and Project Blue Book. Those were the 3 dealing with this. And the last conclusion of the last Blue Book was there was 897 cases that could never be explained away, other than what the people said they were. Now, don't get me wrong, they went through a couple of thousand cases, but out of
12,400 and something, it's a lot.
There's a lot.
12,000 people, or at least instances they investigated.
What was it? 787, whatever it was. It was around 800.
797, I think, is the number of unexplained incidents out of the 12,000.
They could not be explained.
Something like 1%.
It's a lot of cases, people, that couldn't be explained away. Oh, I've talked to everybody there. Pretty much everybody we were talking about here. No, Paola Harris was friends with John Mack. Very good friends. I don't know about all those rumors, which I don't know. I didn't get into that, but they were very good friends, and I got to talk to them because of them. It's the same reason I got to talk to Father Malducci. Because they were friends. Well, sometimes friendships pay off, and you get to talk to people like that. John Mack was just John Mack. He was a college professor. He was a psychologist, basically.
Yeah, he was a psychology department head. He probably learned.
He believed extraterrestrials were real. Well, he believed the contact was real. Well, not at all at first.
Phenomenon was
and even then, at the end of his career, he still kind of believed that it may have been something else causing it. Thank God he wasn't around when I introduced the blood type study. He'd have blamed it on that. It's it's not that he wasn't a believer. He wasn't a believer or a non-believer. He knew something was happening to these people, and there's never been an explanation other than the ones that the people gave that made sense. So that's what made it hard. It's the same thing with Project Blue Book and Project Signs and Project Grudge. There was always cases left over that nobody could explain away. Yeah, no, I saw that. I know what you're talking about. I saw the guy from Grudge. So they just released this just a couple of weeks ago. So they said the Spanish had these bombs that were shaped like UFOs, and they were launching them towards the United States, thinking that we had nuclear weapons at Area 51, which we did. And we were sending them, they were sending them over there, and that's how we got our first saucer, which wasn't actually a saucer, it was a bomb. Come on. That was even that one. I don't know who came up with that shit. That's a long flight from Spain to Area 51. Even a V2 rocket couldn't have made that. So, so now they've got advanced. That means they would have had an advanced rocket building and advanced guidance systems, far beyond anything that was around until the 70s, maybe the 80s. No, I'm just not buying it. The guy who was telling the story, who was just full of shit. And that wasn't the only thing he was full of shit on. There was quite a few things he was full of shit on. But that was one of them. Well, we don't all agree on how we got our hands on a UFO. I still think we got it from the Germans. Some people think it crashed. Some people think somehow or another some kind of radar system shot it down. Radar that we couldn't produce on Earth that we can produce in space that doesn't bother them any, but somehow something we produced on Earth did. I don't know. And so I said, a lightning bolt hit them. Well, maybe so, but I think they take more of a blast than that in space. I'm just saying that the ships are designed to cross in the cosmos. The amount of radiation, especially when you get out away from the solar system, is immense.
There's got to be stuff deadly to their ships, so their ships are living too.
Well, maybe so, but no, well, their ships are, but the reptilians and the humans aren't. They're just everyday, made ships. So, but the thing of it is, I don't know if there is anything, because it seems like with the gray ship, the more intense the radiation, the more energy it gives the ship.
But everything has a kryptonite. Everything has to.
No, we think that, but that may not be true. For an advanced race, it may not be true.
An advanced engineered living spaceship, bioengineered by.
It might be able to adjust to anything that's out there.
Yeah,
it may be given that design. Well, that's why when people tell me we got a great craft, I always have to hem and haw a little bit, thinking it's an alive craft that can think on its own.
Mm-hmm.
So, meaning that if the Greys for some reason couldn't get it, which I find that hard to believe, it would.
Or if they were all killed on board, it could operate on its own.
Well, I'm talking about just the Greys in general.
Yeah,
I would think it would destroy itself. I don't think it would let the humans get it. And since it can produce its own plasma, I'm pretty sure it could make a big boom. Bada boom, bada bing, bada boom, bada bing. I just don't see it. It's a thinking machine. I don't think it would allow us to keep it.
It's a possibility. It could be trained or programmed to not allow itself to capture.
It may not have to be if it's alive and thinking and it's the thing about it is for us is we destroy on all of our planes, ships, and boats. We have things that destroy all the important equipment on board. It's built into them. Turn the key, push the red button, and it melts all the circuits and everything. This is a very advanced race. One of its ships gets captured somehow or another, and its people get captured.
Yeah,
it probably does, but more than that, the Greys can take you from anywhere. Why wouldn't they just come take their ship?
Yeah.
I mean, the only way you can keep a Gray ship is if the Gray says you can keep the ship. There's no other way for it. If they don't want us to have it, and then
we can't operate it, especially if it's 100% mentally controlled, mentally powered. We can't power it up. We can't use it.
So even if we get it, it's a waste of time. But more than that, if for some reason we didn't want to give it back and it couldn't blow itself up, well, Greys have big spaceship. Boom, boom, bada bing, bada boom again.
So they may not be able to beam the ship out of our possession, but they could certainly come down and
flatten it,
fly it, capture it, recapture it, tractor beam.
Well, I imagine they could shoot a beam from their fucking mothership if they wanted to. That would split the planet, much less blow up a little UFO.
Well, I don't know if they'd have to split the whole planet, but they could easily, fly over
the point being is they could easily melt the damn thing. So see, that's why I say when people tell me we have UFOs, the only way we've got one is if they decided to let us keep it.
Yeah,
that's for all the races.
We have 9, minimum of 9.
Yeah, I think some of them are not actually what they say they are, but
possibly.
From some of the things I've seen lately, it suggests that Well, we did a lot of building stuff on the outside that looks like UFOs, but the inside really doesn't do anything. Well, it's good for press. Yes. It's good for. Matter of fact, one of the best UFO sightings I ever seen turned out to be a balloon. It was a saucer like the sports model saucer. It was really pretty, looked really good, had a nice sheen of color underneath it. It was just kind of moving along like this, and it turned out to be a balloon. The guy took credit for it the next day.
It was a balloon.
And, but it didn't look like no damn balloon. It looked like a damn UFO. And it went to the park, and then it just came down like that, and it was gone. And by the time anybody got there was nothing to be seen, except a big scorch mark in the thing, which it looks like somebody went around with one of those plumber's torches.
Or some guy deflating a balloon.
So but he did take credit for it the next day. He showed the balloon and everything. He said, "No, I did this to see how many people I could fool." Well, at least he wasn't like Prophet Yahweh making orbs appear. I control the orbs. Watch the orb go left, go down, go right, fly to me and land in my hands. Yeah, okay. Well, I can do that with a remote control too, you bastard. We busted him so bad. He told me he was going to sue me. He came on my show to tell me that, because he was doing this. He was doing this for the press in Nevada at the park, and I had people in the area. So I said, "Hey guys, look, I want y'all to stake the whole park out. I said, I want you to keep your phones running all the time, the cameras running all the time. Just why? And phone cameras weren't all that great back then, but sure enough, they caught his ass. Well, they didn't catch him. They caught the guy running him. He would launch it up, and it would go, and he had a little earpiece in his ear. So when Yahweh would talk, it would say where to go, and it would go there. And they were smart enough to put him on the behind him instead of in front of him. So when he said right or left, the guy didn't have to think it was right or left. He just knew it was right or left. And he brought it to him. It landed on his shoulder, and it took off. It was a balloon about this big, and a little bit tiny thing on the bottom of it that had a little tiny motor in it. It had two on the sides and do from any
directed.
Yeah, from any distance you couldn't see what it was. And he always told the camera people they had to stand back some because the radiation could be bad. But it was cool the way they put these little things over the fan so you couldn't see them unless, you had to be like staring at it in your face. And he was he was seriously mad. I'm suing you. I'm like, dude, you were lying to the public. You got busted.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, but I am Yahweh. I'm like, well, you know what? When you die, you'll have to deal with Yahweh for calling yourself that. I said, I'm pretty sure there's a special hell for people who act like they're God or, say they're God or something. I'm sure there's a special hell for people like that. Gene, you can ask me that on Friday. About Jesus, you can ask me that on Friday, yeah. Well, because I really like staying on the topic of extraterrestrials, and we've only been touching on them barely tonight, but even whatever reason they came here, 10,000, 50,000, 500,000, 2 million, whatever it was, why are they still here today? They've got at least, so we're going to give them a bare minimum of 10,000 years of research. It's probably much higher than that because blood type started around 40,000 years ago. So that's 40,000 years of research. They don't even mention the grays until just before the time of Christ. So if you add in that in times, that's probably 200,000-300,000 years of research. And they don't know what they want to know by now.
Like I said, I'm not sure that they're looking for knowledge, but they're looking for something. They're after something. I mean, why else would they stay?
Well, you could have been right. They might have effed something up and needed to stay to help us out.
There's a logical explanation to everything happening in this solar system.
Well, the logical explanation is the Greys is the reptilian humans were about to get into a fight, so they came to make the peace. Because when you listen to prior to 2,000 years ago, when you hear them talk about aliens, you don't hear about the Greys. You hear about the reptilians and humans all over the place. I mean, everywhere, all throughout the Middle East, all in Mesoamerica. They were everywhere.
if we're to believe the gods of Egypt and Greece and Rome and the Norse gods are alien creatures, and some of them have dog faces and bird faces and other creature faces. So we may be dealing with a civilization with vast diversity. I mean, there's speculation of a planet of in the Lyran system, and it's a cat people, like the Thundercats. I'm like, yeah, come on, it's a cartoon. Is it possible? Sure, I guess so. I mean, there's lizard people. There's what we think of insectoid people. There's all kinds of weird aliens that we have in our research right now. So why not dogs and cats? The dogs and cats are in Egypt.
Yeah, they show up a lot in
That's
Egypt.
cat-faced god, and then they have Anubis, who's the jackal-headed dude. You got I forget his name, but the guy with the Sobek. It's a human with a crocodile face. Come on, that can't be real. Either it's real or it's
And which
Egypt
one's the
was on
giant
some
snake
massive
guy?
drugs. We don't know. It wasn't just beer.
It's well, that's why I think Stargate does such a good job with the little helmet things on and all.
Yeah, that's a cool explanation. I don't think it's the correct explanation, but
I have no idea if it isn't. But
no, it's true. But I'd be more inclined to believe in the possibility of a hybrid creature that's humanoid with a parrot's face or a crocodile's face or any of the other Egyptian gods that have animal heads.
yeah, it's
I mean, shit. Three of the gods are the same person: Isis, Osiris, and their son. He's killed. She goes out and finds all the people. He gets cut into pieces and spreads out the galaxy. She goes out and finds all the pieces, but his, let's just say his wedding tackle. And so she fashions, alternate wedding tackle for her husband, brings him back to life, has a child with him, and then I believe in the story she later on marries the child because the husband's still dead. Weird. That a brother and a sister would marry. He gets killed. She puts him back together, has a kid with him as an undead creature, and then marries. I mean, it's a bizarre story. People on this planet don't marry their sisters anymore, or if they did, they never should have.
That's the thing anymore. Well, we don't know what the aliens consider acceptable and not acceptable, and we don't even know how they breed anymore. It doesn't look like the Greys even have what we would consider sex. Seems like the reptilians and the humans do, though. They seem to still be having sex in the way we look at sex, but
Billy Meyer says of the tall whites that he had several romantic encounters with the female he was visiting with frequently.
Billy needs to give me whatever drugs he was on. He needs to share with the rest.
He had quite a few. He was missing an arm, so I'm sure he had some good painkillers coming down the road. Prescriptions and stuff.
He needs to share with the rest of us. No, well, I don't know. I hate to hate on anybody because when I first got into the field, anybody who told me they were having sex with aliens, I just laughed at. It took a lot of cases. I mean, over 150 cases before I even started looking into it. And only because some of the people who were telling me about it were pretty reputable individuals. So I started looking into it. The reptilians seem to be the most aggressive when it comes to it, but the human aliens seem to do it quite often too. They've even got in stuff that probably won't talk about on the show, but they even got into the details of having sex and how there's extra parts and extra things, and the females have an extra anyway. It gets quite in detail. So at first I was like, okay. But then I started realizing, because I hadn't talked to anybody, and these other women were telling me the same thing, and then other men were telling me the same thing. I was like, well, wait a minute, we got something here then. Anytime, it's not a public thing and people don't know each other and you're getting the exact same answer, you have to think about it. Oh, you're going to make me be gross. So we'll do the male one because it's the less horrific. So, male, what males use to have sex, and you know how women have sex. Well, on the two types of the female aliens, they have I guess you would call it a tube that comes down and actually goes on the inside of the guy's thing. It goes all the way down, and it sounds like it's got to be unbelievably famous, but the men say it creates some kind of euphoric. I'm with Jay on the no thank you part, but that's why I don't like talking about it, because that's considered abduction criteria, because until recently we didn't even talk about it. It wasn't even public. We've got other things since then that help us to understand, but when you've got 30, and back then it was rare to even have a man come forward about being a contactee. When he tells you that, and you just talk to 3 guys a day before telling you the same thing, and you're getting off the phone to go talk to somebody else who's telling you the same thing, you have to take it serious. And not only did they describe what it was and how it worked and the feeling, I mean, they all said the exact same thing. I mean, it was too much. All of that's on tape. Yeah, it's only can be released with their permission. Of course it's on tape. I tape everything, buddy. What do you mean? I'm not worried about the government. So, a little secret. So there's
not anymore. You were when you were in the Navy.
So there's a bunch of hard drives in here on computers and backup drives and stuff like that, and side drives and all sorts of stuff over probably, I don't know, probably a couple 100 terabytes by now. And so if you pull a drive without putting in the proper sequence, you just destroyed everything on that drive. And all of the main drives where we keep, which aren't connected to the internet, by the way, you have to have a special disk. We used to use floppy disk, and then it was scan disk. Now it's an SD card. It has a special program on it. If you don't plug that disk in before you try to access that program, it will wipe that program out. Where do you get the disk? Well, that's a top secret thing inside the organization. Nobody knows who mails them. No. You couldn't even find it if you wanted to know. I have mine, yes, but mine will only open my computer. And it's not just that. Once I put that disk in there, there's another code, and it's a pretty decently long code that has to go in on top of that. So if I put the disk in, it won't melt everything. It'll freeze it until I put that code in there. And nowadays we have, whatchamacallit, you have to use your finger too. Because, man, this is serious information. And this is a lot of people's names who don't want to be made. I mean, a lot of these people are prominent people in our society, and there's no reason to destroy their lives because they've had a contact. Just getting people to come forward is not an easy thing to do. I thought he had a monkey on the shoulder for a minute.
This is Boris, one of the Russian blues.
I was waiting.
Say hi, Boris. Say hi, buddy.
He's like, no, dude. I'm more interested in what you smell like, man.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like a great dude.
He didn't get the onion rings. He's looking for them still.
No, you can't eat cat onions. It's bad for him.
I know, but he still wants to have them. He's looking for them.
Bad for dogs, too. Man, garlic and onion are bad for dogs. How my first dogs even survived is beyond me, because everything I cook has garlic and onion in it.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Well, no, there's lots of stuff. But that's one of the things that made me start realizing some of the people who said they were having sex were actually were. And then I was getting all these females who were talking to me about these beautiful people that they were having. I mean, just overflowingly gorgeous. I mean, the way they talked about them, you would think somebody like sprayed beauty spray on these guys or something. And so under hypnosis, I started telling them, I want you, when you feel their skin, when you reach out and feel their arm, I want you to really see what they are. I want you to feel what they really feel like. And after a while, a couple of them had one of them under hypnosis. I said, well, you got his arm. Just tell me what it feels like. She said, it feels like cool suede. I was like, what? Like I was rubbing on my couch or something. I said, well, open your eyes. Needless to say, she wasn't happy with what she saw. Well, reptilians can really hide themselves in a lot of ways. Well, to me, when they tell you they're traveling with you and all, a lot of times I don't think they're actually traveling with you, because they could make a whole plane see what they wanted them to see. That's not the issue, but the size of their cells. Can you see them trying to sit in economy class? They'd always have to fly first class, that's for sure, or at least business class.
They may not even be able to fit on our airplanes. I mean, come on, you stood on an airplane. The ceiling's what, 6 foot?
Yeah,
top?
they'd have to be like this, crunched over.
Well, they'd be punched over in half. Their back would be rubbing against the top of it.
You mean average reptilian could be 8 to 9
feet tall.
Yeah, 8 to 9. The younger ones are 7. Oh no, you'd be crunched over walking in, but I can't see you getting into a seat unless it was like a first class seat. Yeah. And then you would take up so much space, you know. So I think what they do is they give the person an illusion of that's what's going on, and the person just interacts with the illusion the entire time.
Yeah.
Because I can't see him getting on a plane. Well, you know, one of the girls, Janice, told me one time, she said, I bought an SUV so he could actually fit in the SUV. She bought a Hummer, actually. I was like, I said, and he said,
H1 is a big vehicle.
I was like, really? He said, yeah. He said, you know, I wanted to be able to take a ride with me. I was like, okay. Well, some people said they can compress themselves. I don't think they can. Not the reptilians. I don't.
Not that much, no.
I don't think they're that realm of technology. I don't think humans are. The humans are not quite as big as the reptilians, but they're close. You know, they're running 500-600 pounds. They're 8 foot, 7 foot, 8 foot. They're not much difference in size. What bothers me about them is both of them look like they're heavy worlders, not from light worlds. The way the kind of stockiness of it makes me think they're from a heavy world, not from a light world. Like the Greys look like they would come from a low gravity environment, low light, low gravity, like somewhere like Mars.
Yep.
But well, whatever that planet was that was in between Mars and Jupiter probably was a 5 times the size. That was a 5G at least, plus the gravity off Mars is probably more like 6 or 7 Gs. So whoever was born there and raised there would come in here, just their strength would be unbelievable. I mean, they'd be 7 times stronger than anybody on the planet. Oh yeah, they wouldn't have. You could just hold up your bumper while you change the tire. You could unscrew the lugs with their fingers. Yeah, they would just. It's going to be how it would be on Mars. On Mars, we'd be able to pick up the back of the rover.
Jump on the moon, 600 pounds feels like 100.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, you could jump up to the next floor. You'd play a little pull arm, pull you up to the next floor and stuff. It'd be a little different. Well, you're talking about the space station. Yeah, okay. The space station isn't totally free of gravity. It has microgravity. It's still within the influence gravitational field of the planet, yes. Because they always tell you that, but it's microgravity. Look it up. You don't have to believe me. I'll break it up for you Friday if you want to, but we're getting ready to go, but it's microgravity. Who's my favorite alien? I told you Bob is.
Bob. Uncle Bob.
You want to keep fucking around, Bob will be, see, maybe curse. Now, Bob's going to come to your house and probe you for making me curse and to show he knows I don't like to curse on the show. So now he's going to feel the need to come probe you. And let me show you his probing stick that he likes to bring with him. This is his probing stick. He said he likes to see the blueness come out of your mouth when you're being probed. Hey, that's Bob. So that's why you should not bother with him. I don't bother him. I let him do what the hell he wants. What you want, Bob? You want a cat? I'll get you one. Jay's got one. Let me give you his address. What was that? No, Friday we got a lot to talk about. I did see that thing. You're talking about Epstein thing. I did see that. Those witnesses made that reporter look like an idiot. That was nice to see. Yes. Well, I knew she was going to ask the question no matter what. So no, but we'll talk about that on Friday. Yeah. It's I wish we could do more than one a week too, but we just don't have to. Can't seem to. I'd have to find some more hosts. Why, you want to come host? Well, because Jay and Sean got to work, and I'm usually in the middle of
Yeah.
8 different things. And if you want to do an early show, then we'd have to have some new hosts to do that. I tell you what, I will put out a thing on the pages asking anybody. Well, because you could also come guest host with us on Friday and Saturday. Well, because Saturday, it just as long as you got some kind of intelligence to your brain, you're okay on Saturday. No, really, as long as you got some kind of brain, you're okay. And your name's not Heidi. If your name's Heidi, you might be in trouble. Just warning you. But or Amelia, so yeah, Dad tell Amelia this guy gave us a bunch of zucchini, right? So I'm like, I want some recipes for zucchini. Amelia sends me a list as long as my arm. I'm gonna have to go try now. Yeah, if you got any good zucchini recipes, send it to. I haven't cooked zucchini since I was, Lord.
There's only one way to cook
Most of y'all
zucchini,
wasn't
and
even
it's fried.
alive then. Well, fried's pretty good, but
Fried zucchini is pretty yummy.
But a lot of people like to bake, so they like to cut it long ways and put it in there and bake and put all kind of cheeses on top, Parmesan.
Yeah, my mom used it in all kinds of dishes. It was all over the place.
You can make it sliced and fry it or bake it.
Or julienne into like sticks.
You can scoop it out and use the stuff to make a stuffing and then refill it. I don't know. We're gonna find out. I like zucchini, but I thought about doing it like I love them fried eggplant sticks. Them things are delicious.
Yeah,
I really do. Especially some places make them way better than others. So I think about
eggplant
trying
parmesan, man.
Yeah.
If it's done right, you can't tell the difference between that and regular lasagna.
Yeah, but they make these. One of the places we go get whatchamacallit sandwiches at Philly's is they make these eggplant sticks. They're about this long. They're only about this big. They're kind of little like cubes, but they're long, and they just pull them in a batter, throw them in a deep fryer, pull them out. They're basically eggplant French fries, is what they are.
Yeah,
and they're pretty good. I gotta say, they're pretty good.
Yeah.
No, he's right about eggplant parmesan. If it's done right, you cannot tell there's not veal in it. No,
it tastes exactly. I mean, it's got the exact same flavor. You cannot tell.
A friend of mine's sister one time we were eating, and she said, "Boy, that's really good." And I said, "Man, that is." So that's some of the tenderest veal I ever ate. She started laughing. She said, "That's all eggplant." I said, "You're shitting me, right?" She's like, "No, it was good."
My mom did that to us. We were. This could end up the show if you want. We were doing veal cutlets every. I don't know how often, but we were doing veal cutlets kind of frequently. And then one day, Mom made veal cutlets and handed out, and everyone finished, and they were really good. And I think everybody ate the whole batch. We didn't have any leftovers this time. And at the end of the meal, she's like, "How were them veal cutlets?" And everyone was like, "Oh, they were great." She goes, "That was turkey." And we were like, "What?" She found a way to doctor up turkey breast into like little thin cutlets, and it tastes exactly like veal. 100%.
That's why everybody says everything tastes like chicken. That's why.
Yeah, I guess so.
A friend of mine tells me one day, alligator tastes like chicken. I said, no, it tastes like alligator. Well, no, I'm getting ready to go eat. I got a ham and it was ham and pepper jack and onions and tomatoes. It was whatchamacallit ham.
Got a hoagie.
I forgot what it was I forgot what type of ham it was, but Black Forest ham. That's what it was.
They make good stuff.
Yeah, they do. I prefer Giusepp's ham, but that's a local thing. Y'all poor people don't get to taste that good stuff, but they'll mail it around. But it's a really good ham. Mish, how many alien babies do you have right now? 6. You might want to get some of them to Heidi, man. Just pass them off. Take them out in the field of light. Ooh, we did hand it to. I like a yeah. It's zucchini's a good thing.
Yeah, zucchini's good. It's weird. It's like it looks like cucumber, but doesn't taste like it at all. It's 100% different flavor.
Yeah, he brought me some cucumbers too because I gave him some of mine early in the season. He gave me some of his late in the season. 2 different kinds of cucumbers.
You go, that's Boris, the new Russian blue.
Yeah.
I think he's saying hi.
Ooh, man, I got them cucumbers that when you grab them, they got like little spikes on them. Bitches hurt.
Oh yeah.
They good though. They got a good flavor to them. Well, we're getting ready to go out of here. Coming up next is some weird show. Got some strange woman name. What's her name? Helena?
Michelle
No.
something.
Marcus. Jessica. What the hell's her name? Something Michelle something.
Thanks, Heidi.
Michelle from the other. We call her Elvira of Canada. Yes, there you go. It's Michelle DeRoche, people. She's on the Outer Realm, and she will be on in like 4 minutes. So y'all get over there. We're getting ready to get out of here. The archive will be up in just a few minutes. All the archives from today are already up except for this one. So you will be able to get this one.
So.
It's what? You know what? Next time, maybe. Well, we got guests coming on for the next couple weeks, but after that, maybe we'll get into breaking down a case by case study of each extraterrestrial. Maybe why they're here, what they're up to, what they look like. Do they like the taste of humans? Who likes strawberry ice cream? Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, I should make that on giving a book away. Who was the guest that said that extraterrestrials like strawberry ice cream? I'll tell you this. It was on a George Knapp interview. I'll give y'all a hint. And if y'all get it right, the first lightsaber we give away this Christmas, I'll give to y'all. As long as you're not a member of the station, I can't give it to y'all. But it's, yes, I'm serious. I don't know what he's going to give away. He always gives away the hilts are always somebody from Star Wars. So you're going to definitely get a lightsaber that, was a Star Wars star, I should say. Who do you want? Kylo Ren. You might get one. You know what he didn't give away a lot was what's the young girl that was playing Ray. She didn't give away a lot of hers. I'll tell you the ones in the most demand, which you'll never guess, is I was going to say Kylo Ren.
Darth Vader, I would think.
No, now I can't think of his damn name.
Mace Windu.
Yes, he's got the purple one.
Purple.
Yes, he's they just like that purple one. They just like the purple one. I don't know. Well, they got red, purple, green.
Yeah, all colors of rainbow. Allegedly, they said once he picked the handle, they said, "What color do you want your blade to be?" And he said, "Purple." I said, "You can't have that." He said, "Why not?" He said, "Because they don't make purple." I said, "Well, I don't care. I want purple." So they made purple.
Yeah, so come on, make me a purple one, man. I want to stand out. Well, if you ever watch any of the fights, you'll notice there's other colors like yellow and stuff like that, and pink and other colors. But me, I'd probably want the purple one. I got a blue one right here, so I don't need a. I need a purple one. Let me come for you, baby. Remember, this is Bob's probe-in stick. See, there it is.
That's the purple one.
There you go. Purple away, baby. So, purpled up. I don't know. Sooner or later, I will get in here and see what I did to the audio thing. I don't know what I did it. It's I had it out doing something else and probably messed it up. I could probably just write to the guy and just send me another card.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think you can buy them. But anyway, we got to go. Michelle DeRoche is coming up on the Outer Realm right now. She's always causing some kind of trouble over there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. I mean, she's, we're all nice and sweet and angelic light, and she's just bad. I mean, she's just causing trouble and getting mischievous and causing more trouble. Oh, tonight, let me see. I'll tell you who our guest is. Give me a second. If I can find it on here. Oh, there it is right there. What is this? Meet the... Okay, the Outer Realms spins beans. What? Meet the Dillons and experience your family 600 plus beans. Whatever. Okay. Well, y'all go check out that and let me go there. Y'all tell me how that goes. Anyway, and that... sorry, timed out.
I got a kitty cat who wants to get out of here, so
yeah. So on that note, guys and girls, I want to thank everyone for tuning into United Public Radio. You probably will see a brand change on the UFO Paranormal Radio sign since they told me I could change it to United Public Radio. So you'll probably see United Public Radio / UFO Paranormal Radio because UPR should come first. But anyway, on that note, I'm thanking everyone for tuning in to UFO Undercover. Before looking at some of the guests coming up in the near future, stay out of trouble. No, and leave the grays alone. If you don't leave the grays alone, I'm telling you, you're going to regret it. On that note, good night, and I will see y'all Friday. Stay out of trouble, everybody.
Yeah.
Especially Australians. Y'all really need to stay out of trouble. Gee.